Hey guys, welcome back. In my last video, I put in a description that I thought I had a little bit of a problem. I think maybe in the last video I had these on. Well, I had to cut them off because I didn't put holes in them. So I cut them off. That one looks crooked. I cut them off and put them in the drill press and punch some holes in them. I'm gonna get either I'm gonna do 1/2-inch bolts or I'm gonna do 1/2-inch pins for like a receiver hitch. So it's just, you know, I can quick pin it. And then down there I was hoping to do the same thing, but I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find 3/4-inch quick pins. So those are 3/4-inch bolts. So I had cut these the other night, put some 3/4-inch holes in them, and so I ran into a problem. The width of those, the inside from here to the other one, does not match the ones on the bucket. Now, I didn't realize that until I was uploading the last video and just staring at the screen with this, basically this same image you guys are looking at now. And I'm like, oh boy. So I came downstairs right after I thought about that and measured it. So the inside of these plates here, inside is 29 inches. And then up here, inside there to inside there is like, I think barely 27 or a little over 27 and change. So, what I'm hoping for is that I did some quick measuring, and I have a mental block with measuring. I'd rather, you know, see it in person. So what I'm gonna do is, I already cut one of these, which is, I'm gonna cut 2 of them. So those are those top pieces, and I sat around for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes measuring and everything, and kind of visualizing. Took a broomstick that's over there and kind of held it up to a straight edge, which, you know, replicated this, and determined how long I wanted to make this. I was trying to decide between 8 and 10 inches, and then what determined that was I was looking at the pivot point, which the bottom of the linear actuator is going to go here, and then the other end is going to go right there. So I was trying to look at an angle for that, what would be a good angle for it too. So essentially, I should move this right here. So that's going to be coming out like that, and then whatever angle it is going down to the bucket, and I'm going to do one side and kind of model it or mirror it to the other side. And my plan is, if I can grab a scrap, and if I can do this one-handed, maybe I can do this. What my plan is so I'm gonna have a piece coming down at whatever angle, and what I'm gonna do is, wherever it lines up on these, I'll get them even. I'll weld it like that, and then I'll plate in this area here, and I'll fish plate the other side, or figure out a way to strengthen it up for my mishap. I think that'll be fine. Make some gussets or whatever. Make it nice and strong. As strong as it can be, you know. I'm only going to have roughly half or less than half purchase of weld. So we'll see. I'll try and make it as strong as possible, because I really didn't want to cut these, or actually add to or cut those off and make them longer, because it's pretty wide as is, and I don't really want to go too wide. A, it'll kind of look goofy, and B, it's just that you're putting, the further you go out from that mounting point down there, the more stress it's going to want to break those right off. So I didn't want to go any wider. If anything, I'd like to go narrower. But we'll see. Still got these tacked. I am going to add gussets right there. So I'm hoping that'll look, I'm hoping it'll be strong. I don't want to look good. I can't really figure anything out that I can do down here. Maybe maybe what I could do is come off of this mounting hole here with a plate and go and try and grind this weld kind of flat and come straight across and then weld into here. That'll kind of help it out a little bit, I think. Just trying to come up with ways to make this as strong as possible. And then I've also got to keep in mind too, I want to try and keep weight down. I chatted with the fella from the guy who makes the little green monster loader, and he said his whole unit, bucket and everything else, weighs 165 pounds. Now, his bucket's not 44 inches wide, like this one. I haven't weighed that bucket yet. I want to say it's 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds, somewhere around there. Maybe it's a little bit more. I mean, it's only 1/8 inch plate. I don't know. I kind of want to get a scale and weigh it just to kind of have an idea. All this stuff all together, I'm not sure how much that weighs, but that's, I don't know if I can count that completely because it's going to be bolted to the machine. So we'll see. I'm going to try and keep weight down at the same time. I'm going to try and you know, make it strong at the same time. I'm hoping that idea works. You know, having it take up maybe half or so, welding it up really, really good, and then making a whole bunch of braces. I'm hoping that'll be enough. Because I thought about grinding all those welds on both plates and sliding them over and making them, you know, true to these, but at the same time, for whatever reason, if I have a machine that has a receiver hitch on it and a winch, and I want to use the original pieces that the Swisher bucket came with, then I'm screwed. Because then I'll have modified these plates, moved them, and it won't line up with the original setup. Because for whatever reason, who knows, you know, if this fails miserably, then I might go back to that idea, do a receiver hitch there and a winch mount, and then boom, I got a bucket again. It just won't raise up that high. And the battery's for weight, to keep it flat. Because if you don't have any weight in the bucket, the whole bucket tips backwards. So anywho, that's where I am for tonight. It is currently Christmas Eve. My dog is probably upset with me that I haven't spent much time with her today. Been doing some running around. In my last video you saw where I put some toe points on my buddy's kids mower. Did one of those front and back, and then mounted an ammo can so you can throw straps or a chain in it if he wants to. So I was working on that for a good chunk of the day, or a good chunk of the afternoon, I should say, between picking it up and putting all that stuff on. So anyway, I know the garage is a mess. It's a mess, not a lot of room, but that's where we're gonna leave it for tonight. So I came down here today, picked up from the other night. I think that was Christmas Eve. And I had these drilled and everything. And I had one of these straight pieces done. Went ahead and did another one over here. I'll show you that in a minute. I ended up getting these magnets. I think I might have mentioned them in one of the other videos. They're like 30 bucks on Amazon, something like that. They're pretty sweet. They can have, you know, you can hold things just so, and then throw a quick tack on them. Anyway, last video I didn't have any holes in these, so today I popped some holes in these, got them there, kind of roughly eyeballed and lined up where this piece is coming off the bucket to, well, the upright, or sorry, not the upright, but that straight piece. So from there down to there, and tell you what, it'd be nice to have a second set of hands, but I got the angle. This is kind of a look of what it's going to be like. That's going to mount down on that piece coming off the bucket, and then I've got this clamped right here, because what I'm going to do, I believe, is I'm going to weld right here on the back side, and then I think I'm going to design, I'm going to move this clamp, a fish plate, kind of like what you see on regular tractor loaders. I'm going to have a piece come from probably right here all the way down to about right here or so. Do a big triangle piece and get it nice and strong, and be able to tie this to this very well. Then right here is going to be the pivot point, or the attachment point for the linear actuators. I want to get all that stuff done and everything before I go ahead and order the actuators, because what I want to do, I don't know, this might be kind of hard to explain on camera, especially with one person. I need to get me a tripod. Anywho, so you got your straight piece there, then your angled piece down to the bucket. What I want to do is I want to get a scale and hang it from one of the rafters. And when I get everything all attached, I want to see how much it weighs. Hook the scale to the end of the bucket or somewhere on the bucket, and have it about, you know, yay height or so, midway, or maybe even all the way up or so, and measure it, see how much it weighs, and then where the pivot point's going to be, or where the mounting point's going to be for the actuator on the arm. Imagine the arm going down like that. It's going to mount there, and somewhere on this upright, I want to see how much weight is right there. So have something coming off the rafters and have the scale on it, and see how much everything weighs right there, because what it's going to weigh out here is going to be different from what it weighs right there. The closer you get to your pivot point, the more weight the actuator is going to have to push. So let's say it's 120 pounds out here when I pick it up. That might equate to, I don't know, 250 pounds over here. So that's going to kind of determine what I'm going to get for actuators. I found some on Northern Tool that do 1,000 pounds, but they're also $350 each. And I want to run one on each upright for the boom, and then I'll get one. I'm going to have to make a tab coming off the bucket for the curl and everything. I went on Amazon, everyone's favorite website, and found some actuators that are pretty fast. They're between 1.5 and 2 inches per second speed, no load, and the most, I think the most weight that I've found on those ones are 600 pounds. So if I have 2 of them, I'm not going to double up the, the rating. It's not going to be 1,200 pounds. It's going to be 600 pounds, but I'm going to have 2 of them pushing 600 pounds. So let's say there's 250 pounds of weight right here. I'm going to look at the difference between that weight, and then kind of determine what I want to get for actuators. And I don't know how much. Let's say I fill up this bucket with dirt. How much is that going to weigh? I'm going to have to just do a bunch of calculations and see which is the smartest route to do. I'd rather not spend 350 bucks a whack on actuators, but I also don't want to get the cheap ones, the 600 pound ones, and wish I had gotten the better ones. So again, I really would like to order my actuators, but I gotta get everything together first. And then I ran into another problem. This is all I have left for 1.5 by 2. So I'm gonna have to try and get some steel tomorrow or this week. The place I usually go, the smallest they'll sell is 12-foot lengths. I don't need 12 feet. I need probably another 4-foot stick, and that's really it. And then I'll be close to really being done with needing any more steel. So that's where I'm at the moment. Going to make some cardboard templates for some fish plates, and probably cut them out. I hope I don't blow through all of my 1/8-inch plate. I think I've got one more. Yeah, I got one more piece of plate, and then some stragglers kicking around somewhere. Yeah, some scrap pieces. So hopefully I don't run out of that stuff, and I'll have to make another Amazon order for some 1/8-inch plate. But that's where I'm at. I don't know if you guys can see this thing in the background. All the other YouTubers, they have the commercials for these things. It's the Cove commuter. Thing's pretty sweet. I'd crank it up for you guys, but I don't really want to have copyright, stuff going on. But it cranks up pretty good. You can split this thing in half, and I could throw one over there, and the other one over here by the drill press, and have surround sound. So it's pretty cool. Runs off Bluetooth and everything, and I like it, especially for in here working away. By the way, the bandsaw is still working great. Very happy with that. Should get a second blade for it just in case that one snaps. But anyway, that's where I'm at. This is what I came up with. I was going to do something like a big triangle. Something along the lines of that. It'd be strong, no doubt, but I don't know, I still might do it. I'd have to order a lot more plate to do that. It'd be strong, but I had some 2-inch flat bar kicking around, so I said, well, maybe what I can do is utilize it. So I'd still be welding here and here, this whole seam all the way down and around, and then I'd weld this seam there, and obviously this would go on the other side, and then you'd have, I don't know what size bolt goes through that actuator, but there's plenty of room for a 1/2-inch bolt to go straight through there, and I feel like it'd be pretty strong like that. really good welds here, and all around is tying into each other, so I don't see why it wouldn't be strong. Obviously this would be a lot stronger. I wouldn't want to go all the way up to the front, but I want to kind of do one of these. And then I'd have a lot of weld holding these two pieces together, and I'd still have a little bit. I could do one here. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna keep that template just in case if I decide to do this and then it breaks or fails or whatever reason, then I can plate over it with the triangle piece, I guess. I don't know. I think this should be strong enough. I'm hoping so. What do you guys think? Let me know in a comment down below. Like I said before, I don't want to make this thing stupid heavy, but at the same time I want to make it strong. So, yes, I don't know. I don't know. I'm putting a lot of faith in general into that seam, these when I weld them in. I'm thinking about doing, I think I said it before, which I should probably make templates for while I'm down here. So I want to tie this into down here, make that extra strong, and figure out something for here. Like I said, I'm gonna come off of about somewhere right here and go straight down to, oh, you can see it, that bracket. I want to come off that bracket. I hope it's not at too steep of an angle. And then tie into the upright, give a little bit more strength. But I think I'll do that. Make some templates for some gussets for the uprights, and kind of go along with that. So I decided to make a strut because I'm somewhat at a standstill. So these can go now. So the plate, that bolt, not the strongest thing in the world, but I'm gonna try and gusset it a little bit, try and figure something out. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be taking all the weight, it's just gonna kind of help. I think it's pretty solid. Again, it's just tacked together. It's 3/4 inch box tubing, and then these little tabs I bought for a previous project. I just got them tacked. I think it looks good. I'm gonna have to definitely strengthen that up a little bit. I cut some gussets to go right here on these uprights. They came out pretty decent. One right there. Then I don't know why, but I decided to add this. I'm gonna finish welding that and then lay a fat bead there. And maybe I'll do some filling. I don't know. Just to add some more strength to it. I don't know if that's necessary or not. Same thing over there. I think these are at different angles, honestly. They might be. This one I feel like is more vertical. But I feel like that one's further away. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I thought they were the same. They looked the same. When I cut them, I laid them next to each other. They looked the same. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, these gussets came out good, I think. finish welding those in at some point. If I decide to add another one, I got the cardboard cut out for it too. Whenever I want to finish welding this whole thing, I'm gonna, I think I said it in a previous video, I'm gonna kind of angle these, cut angle those, and make them look a little bit better. There's some more welding on the bottom I gotta do when I pull the whole thing off for final welding and painting. So I think it looks good. I think that'll help. The strut, I think it'll help. I'm not gonna be counting on it for a lot of weight, but in the event that this does flex forward, hopefully this will kind of catch it from falling, if you will. So I think that's where I'm going to call it for this video. It's actually a lot longer than any of my other videos that I've made. If you feel so kind, drop me a like, subscribe, comment below if you got any questions or whatever. My quest after tonight is to hopefully get some more 1.5 by 2. Hopefully tomorrow. Today's Sunday, so hopefully tomorrow I can go track some down. I got this whole week off from work, which is kind of nice. But I got some customer work coming in. Got a guy with a push mower, snow blower, and a pressure washer I gotta go pick up, I think tomorrow. Service those, get them out the door for him. And then I got a repeat customer that his father-in-law's snowblower is not running right, so I gotta check that out later on in the week. But I'm hoping I can get my my box tubing and try and get this thing as close to almost done as I can, and then I can measure and start doing everything for the actuators, and hopefully get those coming, and then figure out the wiring for that. So yeah, so that's where I'm gonna leave it. Thank you for watching. Again, please subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.